Welcome back. Next up on the stage, we have our November breakfast sponsor, Rocky Bayou Christian School. And representing Rocky Bayou Christian School is Mike Mosley, the superintendent. That's Dr. Mike Mosley, excuse me. And Miss Dee Reynolds, the Academy Band Director. Welcome.
Good to be here.
And of course, there's great reasons why you're here, isn't there?
Absolutely.
We're
excited.
All right, we'll keep it quiet. How long has it been? We won't let it out of the bag just yet. How long have you been the band director at Rocky Bayou Christian School?
This is my second year at Rocky. Been teaching 21 years.
Mm-hmm. And tell us a little bit about the fine arts department there.
Well, Rocky believes that a well-rounded education
includes
the fine arts, music, band, and drama. And we begin in kindergarten and go all the way through senior high.
Wow. What grade does band start at Rocky Bayou?
We start in 5th grade. It's a good age to begin.
And so what's the secret that we've been holding in? What's in store for the marching band in 2011?
Well, after our district contest, we'll have a couple of parades. We do the Niceville, Fort Walton, and Crestview parade.
But we're not raising money for that.
No. Our goal this year and our event is we are going to the Sugar Bowl.
Oh my goodness.
Going to play in the Superdome at the Mass halftime show, along with 18 other high school bands. And
memories of a lifetime.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely fantastic. So what kinds of things do we have going on to generate some funds to help you get to the Sugar Bowl?
Well, we've had a couple of, we had a dinner fundraiser, and we're selling used clothes and doing some yard sales and things like that.
Yeah.
So we're always open to the generosity of our community members. And
you know, I was going to be the typical football player in high school. And then in 9th grade, I blew my knees out, both of them. And so I didn't have football anymore. And I was going to go play basketball or do any of those other things. So I joined the chorus.
Good choice.
What a good choice.
choice.
My sister was in there. It was kind of a shoe-in. So.
Great.
And it has served me well. You know, I got to say, I don't play football anymore.
That's right.
But I do sing a lot. So it's been a really, really wonderful experience.
That's wonderful.
In my life. And I think the kids need to be exposed to that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
if you take the word here and the word art and superimpose them, you have heart.
Yeah, amen.
And heart is the kind of the soul of a person's education.
Wow. Dr. Mosley, you know, Rocky Bayou Christian School is all about excellence in education. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're a school that, as Dee alluded to, is committed to really developing the whole student, and so certainly academics is an important part of that. And our stress for our students is that we want them prepared for whatever God has made them to go do next. And so, for most of our kids, that's going to be going off to a 4-year college. And so I really wanted to see students leave us that are competent and confident, and students that can basically do the work, have the experience of sort of testing themselves in a variety of situations. So, you know, it's not unusual at all at our school to have students that are in the fine and performing arts, that are playing a couple sports, that are in leadership positions, and have actually gone and done something. And again, because we're a small school, you know, our high school population's right at about 200, and yet we're doing 20 varsity sports. We've got a full fine and performing arts. We do all kinds of academic enrichments. These kids have to do a lot just to sort of
and you actually have that vision as a portrait for your graduate.
Yeah, we really do.
You know what you want them to look like when they come out the other end.
Yeah. Well, I think it's part of a development process that for a lot of us didn't hit us until we got to college, or in my case, maybe my mid-20s. Just that idea of, you know, why am I here? What did God make me for? And so a lot of times education in secondary school is sort of something that happens to a kid, and we want it to be something that they are really taking ownership of, and they see that this is an investment, a cultivation for the next 50 or 60 years. And so that's an interesting conversation to have with teenagers, because again, you know, teenagers are teenagers, and sort of the pressure of the culture is to kind of get them thinking about the right now, the next 5 minutes, and we're trying to get them to think about, well, if I invest now in the sort of person I'm going to be in 10 years, 20 years, what will that look like? So we're trying to have a conversation with them about that.
And I think a lot of people are predisposed to believe that if you go to Rocky Bayou, we're going to prepare you for seminary. And you and I know that the Lord's given all kinds of gifts to all kinds of kids. And Rocky Bayou is going to raise the kid that cures cancer, as well as the kid that goes to seminary.
Yeah, really, it's an old idea that Christians have had for a long time. That if God made you to go sell insurance, then that's your calling, and that's something that God's created you to serve your community. And so, Sheriff Ashley was just here. God raises up law enforcement to be servants of a community and to help other people. And
when you see him, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
You really can see that in him.
And that's really, I think, the thing, that sense of calling or vocation that, a lot of times we don't talk about with our kids. And, frankly, a lot of us struggle with that even as college students and adults. What am I supposed to do? Why am I here? Yeah. And again, having kids just thinking about that and exploring the things that maybe they're gifted at or they feel a passion for. And what we're seeing, and this is pretty exciting, is that a lot of the kids that are in high school today are really very willing to think about, what can I do that's going to make my community a better place, instead of thinking, how can I make the most money? How can I have the biggest car, biggest house? So I don't know what's happened exactly in our society, but kids are a lot more willing to think about how they can be used to make the place they live in a better place. And I'm excited about that.
And if you can sort some of those questions out and find some answers before you get to college, as a parent, I can tell you, it's a lot less expensive to get you through college if you know where you're going.
We're actually starting a program this year. The first 2 weeks back in January, we're going to do a special pull-out term where most of our juniors and seniors are going to do some internships and do some special sort of non-traditional classwork or go on some trips.
Try it on.
In other words,
Sure.
I think I want to be an engineer. I'm going to go work with an engineer for 2 weeks and see if that's true or not. And a lot of times finding out that that's not what you were made, like you said, will save you 2 years of college. And we all know
tuition.
We all know once you're in that system, time is money.
Now, we all know Rocky Bayou is a private school. Do you have tuition assistance or the ability to help people out?
Actually, our bookkeeper just gave me these stats. 62% of the kids that are in our 700 student body are on some kind of scholarship. And so we participate in 2 state-funded scholarships, the McKay and the corporate scholarship, the Step Up for Students. And we actually also have an internally funded scholarship that's need-based. So we have a lot of kids that are on some kind of scholarship, and really what we're looking for are families that are looking for that kind of education for their kids. And so that's our first criterion is this a right school for your family and your children?
Well, Rocky Bayou is growing by leaps and bounds. The proof's in the pudding. The graduates you're putting out are just top notch. So thank you very much for all you're doing for our community. And if you would, let folks know how can they get in touch with you if they need to do that.
Okay, we're going to have an open house on the 18th of November at 9 a.m. And so folks can call the school and we'd like them to RSVP, but we're going to basically sort of explain the program, take people on a tour of the school. We're because of the military community, we're an open enrollment school, so we'll take students pretty much at any point during the school year because people PCS at all different times. Yeah. So we're going to have an event on November 18th that will if people are thinking about us or getting ready to move to the area and they're down checking out schools, we'll have people come in and sort of let them take a look at us.
Well, thank you, and thank you all for all you're doing in our Chamber of Commerce. The numbers to contact Rocky Bayou are up on the screen. If you need to get them, write them down. Stay tuned. Next up, we are going to have the Crossroads Center Medical Clinic. Mr. Herschel Adams is here to tell us all about that, so don't go away.